I'm loaded for bear tonight.
I come loaded for bear. It's going to be a little different type show tonight, but we've got to ask some questions. We've got to ask some very serious questions about what is happening in Maui. And one of the things that I want to say right off the bat is people are. I think most people are compassionate on what's happening, but there are some people that are just like they're jealous because it's Maui, and they're like they don't. The compassion is not there versus if it was somewhere in Alabama or somewhere in California, something like that.
I hear what you're saying.
These are still people.
I hear what you're saying, but there's a sector and a percentage of people that do not even know. Thank you for that, BINGO, Delane.
And listen, by the way,
joke,
that's an inside thing. You need to go to Solid Rock Church's YouTube channel and watch it from Sunday.
Listen, I don't want to become part of the local news, so just everybody calm
we need
down.
We need to make Pastor Sandy go viral, y'all.
No, we do not. But back to this very serious and important news.
Yes.
Yeah, there are that faction, that percentage, that group of people that are jealous because, like you said, all they hear is Maui. We know that that's Hawaii's paradise and all of that. And there's jealousy and there's like, what could possibly be wrong, with your life if you live in Maui? But there are many things wrong. When you're burnt out of your home, the federal government will not allow supplies and assets, help to get to you. And, you were barely hanging on because you are in this property, in this home, this old, small, possibly dilapidated home because it had been passed down from generation to generation. More than likely, you were a native Hawaiian.
Right.
Maybe did not have a lot to fall back on, and the very little that you did have, the sanctity of your home, has been taken away by whatever means.
And let's not forget, and we will get into this heavy tonight, is that if it can happen there, it can happen in your town. And everything, seems like everything the last several years, and every news item that comes out, every tragedy that comes out, every event that comes out, it is a test of trying to go even further of where they're going next. So let me just tell you, the things that are going on in Maui is a precursor of what's about to go on here. But there's other things that we got to hit real quick. Breaking news. We always like to go with breaking news up front. And, of course, the breaking news right now in the mainland is that Florida is now bracing for another major hurricane, Idalia. Is that how you say it?
Idalia or Idalia. I've heard it pronounced both ways.
Is beginning to strengthen. And, of course, we've got friends down there.
Yes, we do.
Pastor Paul Begley.
On the other side, thank God. Hopefully it will, just skirt north of him. But we don't know exactly. But there is a lot of noise being made. Hello,
really
Teresa Fisher.
They really
oh,
are.
my goodness. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yep. Florida is bracing for another major hurricane as now tropical storm Idalia is strengthening. It is expected to make landfall on the west coast of the state this week, according to the latest projections from the National Hurricane Center, as Governor Ron DeSantis warns that those in the path of the storm should expect power outages. And, of course, they've projected that it would develop into a hurricane and approach the Sunshine State on Tuesday and Wednesday. One interesting factor at play is the reality of a supermoon. And we got another article to touch on that. And, of course, you can comment and ask if you want to, but a supermoon and that the effect that will have on tide levels. Monday morning's update of Idalia forecast to become a major hurricane before it reaches the Gulf Coast of Florida and is believed to be a life-threatening storm surge and dangerous hurricane force winds all portions of the west coast of Florida Panhandle beginning as early as late Tuesday. So the interesting side factor here is you have a major hurricane that many experts are believing even before it hits landfall, it's going to be a Category 4, and it may make landfall around.
So is this the
3.
latest you've heard? This morning I heard it could be a 2, 3, or 4. They don't know. There's a lot of speculation. But the one thing that I have noticed is a lot of noise is being made. And I'm not being critical of that. Probably that's what exactly we need to do. There's a lot of talk about, the clearing the stores out. Go ahead, empty the shelves, because if this is as serious as what is being forecast to be, you don't want to be up in your home with no batteries, no water. Do it. I'll go even further to say, if there's even any potential, go ahead and leave. go ahead and evacuate if you can. And I know some people can. That's a very touchy and serious thing to talk about. Oh, yeah, well, I've got money for gas and hotels and restaurants and all the incidentals that come along with evacuating. I get that. If you can safely and adequately, do that just for your peace of mind. But if you know you're going to be staying behind, get ready.
Yeah.
Get yourself ready.
Repent or Perish says that in Brazil, there's 29 million without power right now.
Do you know why? Because I haven't heard that.
I mean, I'm sure he's talking about the hurricane coming through there because that's the path, right? That's the path that was taken, I thought.
No. I don't know, but I had not heard that. That's like brand new news.
Okay.
I can't even process that at this moment.
All right.
I really wanted to talk to Repent or Perish because I'm pretty sure he's on the conspiracy bandwagon along with me. And
what are you talking about? We don't.
Has
believe,
a lot
we
of,
do not believe in conspiracies on this show. I have no idea what you're
has
talking
a lot of important and maybe even inside information, and probably follows a lot of the same news stories I do. I mean, I'm one to try to take it with a grain of salt, file it away, and hopefully we can parse out the truth somewhere along the way. But I've noticed in some of his past comments that he has a similar line of thinking as I do. So I'd be interested what news he has.
So
grid down Brazil. Grid down.
Grid down. Okay, grid down in Brazil. So the bottom line is this: we have a major hurricane coming, and it seems to be, and I know this is nature, but it seems to be the constant is power. We are having issues with power everywhere. And it's like...
Well, why are you surprised? They've been telling us that we would for 2 years now.
Exactly.
But before we move on or get any deeper into this story, you were talking about the super blue moon.
Yeah.
Now, we know that the moon affects the tides in general.
Right.
So we're concerned about this super
they're saying
blue full moon.
And the largest in 10 years.
Right.
The largest in 10 years.
Worried about that adding to the problem that we already have with the hurricane coming. So, I think that's something to take into consideration.
Absolutely. So we're going to be praying for the people in Florida and everywhere else that this may hit, because they're saying that it's going to go across Florida and go right up the east coast of America and maybe hit North Carolina and some other places. I've already seen some comments. People are saying that in North Carolina, they're preparing for it.
I did see that on the news. You know, we were watching, we were trying to relax last night after a long and very awesome day at church and with family and everything. But I looked at you and I said, my goodness, they're already ramping this thing up wide open on one of the weather channels.
Yep. You're right.
I had no idea that they were that concerned already.
All right, before we delve into the Maui question, we have one more item, and then we'll just hit it quick because I think it's pretty self-explanatory what happened here. But it's just so interesting that not long ago we were covering the Wagner Group and Prigozhin and all of this of who he is, what he really means, or is him and Putin really buddies, and all this was a stage. Yep. We sort of got the narrative, but I think we've got an idea what happened. But the narrative is, and there's conspiracies out there that he's not even really dead, because that always happens.
So they call themselves PMC Wagner? Is this the name of his?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Would you say organization? I mean, I don't even know.
His mafia.
I mean, he had his own plane, and of course there are the questions and speculations. Was he really on that plane? We know they're reporting that he's dead, along with, at least 9 other people?
Well, let's just read it. Wagner leader Yevgeny, how you say that? Yevgeny Prigozhin listed as passenger on plane which crashed with no survivors, Russian aviation authorities say. And, of course, it is speculated that Russia shot it down. And then, of course, I've heard America shot it down. I've just heard. And then I've heard that there was a separate plane that was spotted by several people that was behind that plane that landed, so that he staged it, and Russia staged it to try to keep him on the down low. Everybody think he's dead, but he's really behind the scenes doing the work in Ukraine. Who knows? But the narrative is that he's dead.
Well, and today we're being told that he's dead. But listen, I have a problem. I don't trust anything.
Exactly. I mean, my goodness.
I don't know if it's a problem. I just don't trust anything.
I mean, can we believe anything that the media tells us?
Yes.
Should we believe it's like at church, I always tell people, whatever the devil is telling you, rejoice in the opposite, because he's a liar and he's full of lies.
Yes.
So I'm almost getting to the point. I don't want to call the media the devil, but I'm almost getting ready to sort of treat them that same way, that whatever they're ever all saying, I just want to believe.
Well, come on. Is it today you put that short out about the montage of all the news reporters saying the same thing in lockstep?
Yeah, you need to go look at that short,
you
y'all.
need to. I think it's the second time at least you put that out, but so much truth in that.
Both times, no views. No views. I mean, I had 10,000 views on the last short that I did. This one, it's been out for about 9 hours now, 70 views.
We'll talk about no views. Somebody in chat a few minutes ago I saw said didn't get a notification.
Yeah, exactly.
Satan. But
all right.
End Time Warrior or someone just was asking, will the hurricane come to Mississippi? Current spaghetti models do not show it really affecting Alabama, maybe the most southern point. So at this point, certainly you should not have any problems in Mississippi.
All right, so now we're going to get into several videos here, Sandy, where we're going. We don't usually do videos.
No.
But
this is going to be a big segment, so go ahead and put your seatbelts on.
Yeah, we're going to ask questions.
Yeah.
We're going to let some of these people that are on the ground, and we're going to really highlight this guy. If you've been following this story, what is it, Maui Real Estate?
His name's Eric. I will even go a step further to say, if you are looking for a place to give financially,
I've already linked him down below.
At this point, I would not even consider some of our nationally known organizations.
Do not give to the Red Cross.
Okay, I wasn't going to say that.
I'm going to say it. Do not give to the Red Cross.
Or any of the others. But I would absolutely give to this man. His name is Eric. The channel is Maui Real Estate. And I'm
not saying never give to the Red Cross, period.
No.
But I'm talking about for Maui, he's made it very clear the Red Cross is not doing their job, and he's doing their job. But we don't want to get ahead of that, Sandy. Let's get into this.
Let's get into this.
Because we'll get to him, and I have linked his channel down below where you can watch his channel. He'll tell you exactly how to support the individuals of Maui. But we're going to watch some videos, and then we're going to react to them, and we're going to give our opinion, and we're going to ask questions. But I want this first one. I want you to really listen to about the first 2.5 minutes here. Okay, it's going to be a little bit long segment. That's long for the streaming world. But just stay with us. We might pause it.
This is important because this is a quick chronicling of events that some of you may not know have happened concerning the whole Maui fire incident.
And everything he's about to say absolutely has happened. All right, so let's listen to this.
Just in, Mark Zuckerberg's ruthless Maui land grab. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. In today's video, we're taking a very close look at Mark Zuckerberg's questionable behavior in Hawaii that makes locals there want him to leave the islands for good. Be sure to watch this entire video, as I promise, you're going to see things that mainstream media absolutely does not want you to see. Let's go. There is a 12-mile media ban in Maui.
Wow.
No journalists allowed. This again infringes on First Amendment rights. Matt Wallace asked, why is the Maui Fire's media ban still in place?
Look at that entire area that's in the circle. No media is welcome.
What else are they hiding? We can have reporters in literal war zones like Ukraine, but not in disaster areas like Lahaina. Totally normal and not sketchy at all, right? Let's deep dive into more of what's happened. Daniel Zach asked, to my people on Maui, is all of this true? Fire hydrants were dry. Fire marshals were out of town that night. The mayor and the governor were out of town. People who were trying to evacuate were told it was not time to evacuate and to turn around back into the fire. No cops on bullhorns. No firefighters in the streets. Most robust emergency siren system in the world did not sound.
Didn't work.
Warnings whatsoever. Anomalies with reported wind directions that don't scientifically add up. Tourists evacuated by bus. Locals locked in and told that they can't get back in if they leave. School was canceled. Children were home while parents worked. Hundreds of children burned alive. Can't be identified. A perfect circle of fire around Lahaina. Molten metal next to intact trees.
Unreal.
Media reporting fractions of real numbers. New insurance policies taken out on Lahaina before the fires. Who owns Lahaina besides the Hawaiians? The oceanfront property. The government. Wild how all this new uninhabitable land that only big developers can afford to clean up opened up for the plans of turning Maui into a smart island with billionaire funding. How many do you need? It goes on and on.
It goes on and on and on and on. So man, there's no way for us to unpack everything that he just said.
Yeah, there's so much more that he didn't even say, but that was a good start right there.
So let's start at the end and let's work our way back. The last thing he said was that this was proposed in January. Maui was proposed in January to be the first smart island and to be an island that their agenda was to be built off of 15-minute cities. In January of this year, in July of this year, the state of Hawaii passed a new regulation that made eminent domain one of the easiest states in the United States to perform. If you don't know what eminent domain is that is the government's right to take your property when they feel like it could be better used for their agenda. So that's January and July, these things happen, and then we come to where we're at now.
Right.
So you have the governor out of town, the mayor out of town, all these officials,
fire chief,
the fire chief.
Yeah.
You have questions like the coroner is the sheriff. Okay, it's like Andy Griffin. Okay, this is Maui, and it's like you ain't got enough money to hire a coroner, and so you are the police chief, and then you're in charge of telling us about the death count. And here we are, what is it, 2 weeks later?
This happened on the 8th.
On the 8th. Think about it. This is the
days.
This is the 28th. 20 days ago. And here's the reality. We are still at 115 death count and 1,000 missing. The numbers don't add up, Sandy. There is some
Did we talk last week about the people that are helping the coroner, helping with the morgue, I should say, said that there were at least 480 bodies already there.
And they just brought in more temporary morgues.
This is before a couple of days ago, someone said hundreds of bodies just washed ashore.
Yeah.
This is their words, hundreds. We can't personally verify that, but this was said just 2 or 3 days ago.
Now, it's going to get a little touchy tonight. I did a short video earlier today. Some of you might have saw it, and I told you because I know me, I would not be surprised if I lose it tonight because, man, I'm already thinking about it right now because you start talking about children, you start talking about families that have lost everything. It really wrecks me, and that's what this is about. And we're going to dissect it. We got to stay focused, Sandy, because we got a lot of videos to cover.
I don't want to be one that just throws words and phrases around, but when I watch the videos, when I read the news articles, I cannot help but think these people were under an absolute attack, an assault on their life. Yep. And even to this moment, they're fighting to even get food and water, some of them.
Yeah.
They're fighting to get absolute essentials that are on the island. They're there, but they're being prevented from receiving them. So let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get really deep into that, then let's first cover the craziness of this fire.
Yes.
Of what this fire, why there's so many conspiracies out there about the origin of this fire, what kind of fire. Because, we live in Alabama here. In Alabama, and we have a lot of trees here. We're used to dry season, fire hazards. We're used to getting those warnings. We know what a forest fire looks like. A forest fire can be very intimidating and scary and just massive, but it burns fast and it burns through. And then most of the time, the trees are still standing. Maybe the limbs are all gone. The ground is charred. If it hits a house, it burns the house down. I understand that. But there's a sort of a look and a pattern to a forest fire.
Right.
This is not like anything we've ever seen. Would you agree?
Exactly.
Ever.
And we can't add in every video and every comment that, from every different aspect because there are so many. But I will add some that I have heard since this started is referring to the winds as blowtorch winds.
Right.
Or like a tornado over our head. And I can't remember what else, but just, all this wind is moving all this fire, yet people that jumped into the ocean, the waves weren't going crazy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
But the way that they're commenting and describing, some of these things do not make sense.
No, and so you see the image here. This is the channel that we were talking about, Hawaiian Real Estate. And like I said, I've linked him down below because I want you to go to his channel, subscribe
I think it's
to
Maui Real Estate.
Maui Real Estate.
His name's Eric.
Okay, well, the name of his channel is Hawaii Real Estate.
Is it Hawaii Real Estate?
Yes, Hawaii Real Estate. All right, so this is a couple of videos. We're not going to show you the whole video. We're going to show you the what he's trying to drive home. So the police have been keeping people from seeing this. This is a main road. And I want you to look at this car. And the first thing I want you to notice is that all around the car, there's no evidence of fire. This is crazy. Now, you look over to the right of the screen, and you see the ocean, and you see where the ground is charred. There's nothing there but grass. There was no trees. So the only fuel for this part of the fire would have been some grass and maybe a few small trees. That's it.
Let's add
and then
this
there's
comment.
this car.
Repenter Parish says melted wheels on cars 2,500 degrees, while fire is 1,250 to 1,500 degrees. And this is one thing I was trying to think of a minute ago. In these winds, people said the winds blew the metal roofs off the homes, exposing the wooden framing, which very easily caught fire.
Yep. All right, so let's watch this.
If you look at this
they're
vehicle,
walking up.
and I want you to notice the burn. The amount of grass, as you can see, that burned and the char marks. This car is basically completely surrounded by gravel, and you can see a small little flames right here when this grass burned. Yet, when you turn and look right in this direction, besides seeing Dylan, my technical cameraman, you can see this car. And for all you scientists out there that have been sending me images and you're asking me if they're real, I'm here to tell you, in Jesus' name, what we're showing you is real, live on YouTube. So if you enjoy content like this, we ask you to please immediately like this, share this, and subscribe to the channel. Why? Because
this car is melted.
Yes.
It by itself, surrounded by gravel.
Not just melted. I don't know if you'll get to this part, but he picks up certain pieces and they're absolute dust that blow away in the wind.
Yeah, aluminum is just disintegrating like salt.
The hope of getting this out to the world through the YouTube algorithm. This is a tire that is gone.
There's a radial
steel inside the tire. Look at this particular rim.
Look at the rim.
Is it safe to say these are aluminum?
Look at the windshield. What's that?
Are these aluminum?
Yeah, that's cast
melted
aluminum
glass
wheels.
from the windows.
Cast aluminum wheel. You can see it melted.
And the windshield on the inside?
Look at the windshield. That is a windshield there that is completely melted. We have some jumper cables in the back of the vehicle. We have some cast aluminum here.
Watch this.
That's pulverized.
Look at that.
Dust.
How is that possible for a grass fire that did not come from this direction? Because you can see there's nothing that's been burned over here. What could cause that type of...
Pause it. I'm going to tell you what could cause it. A technology that we do not know or understand is the only thing that can come to my mind. There has to be some technology used.
Wow.
Destruction.
Yep. I
when
agree.
you have a grass fire on this side that obviously didn't connect. But even if it was a grass fire.
And it's still only half burned. I mean.
Yeah, you can see there's even some grass over here that's still standing. It's not even been burned. So even down below, directly below this, you can see some wood fence posts that were burned, but you can see all that grass is still good.
They're not even pulverized like the car.
Exactly.
And that's wood.
That's wood.
That's wood. What in the world? Okay, so we don't want to spend all that.
So
I want to go to the next one.
One of the predominant things that people are saying is, well, the winds blew the fires, causing things to catch on fire and to burn hotter and quicker.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems like that might be a little plausible, but that does not seem to be a sufficient answer for what we're seeing here.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you what's happening right now on YouTube. Literally, just then when we showed this video, 45 to 50 people disappeared. So I'm guaranteeing when this is over with, we're going to hear that this was dropped. I preached on some very controversial things Sunday, and people started saying they started getting pauses. The YouTube started dropping it down. That's why you got to go over to Rumble. Make sure that you subscribe at Rumble, because I just watched 50 to 60. It was climbing, and then
Love you guys at Rumble.
50 to 60 views on YouTube just disappeared. I mean, they just disappeared in an instant, in a second. I know what's happening.
I knew this brother's on it. Lockheed Martin and Raytheon. Yep.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Now, watch this. This is the same guys. They're going into a different neighborhood. This is what I want you to see. I want you to notice the perimeter of these two vehicles.
Yes.
This is insane.
You can see the lights for the football stadium right there at Lahaina Luna. So we're right below Lahaina Luna High School.
Look at these houses.
Neighborhood that did not, I repeat, did not burn. You can see all these houses are standing around here, unburned. There's no burn here.
Maybe that's what happened. Delane said he just got hit with a commercial.
What?
Okay.
During our live?
I did not do that. I did not do that. I will find out what happened. So some people might have just got mad and quit me because they had a commercial in the middle of it. I did not do that. I do not know why a commercial hit in the middle of a live.
Exactly. Algorithm must be working tonight.
They're doing everything they can do to distract.
Right. They don't want this getting out. You know, there's no national news covering this.
No.
And from what I've seen, not that many people, even on YouTube and alt media. So it's very throttled down.
All right, so let me just say right now, not everybody's saying they got a commercial, but several people are saying.
Alicia said she did.
Okay, somebody said, I got two commercials. All right, I did not do this.
Ads came on, I skipped it. Oh.
Okay, all right. So look, we're going to look into that.
James
Stay
Hamilton?
with us. Stay with us. Help me and make sure that you just stay with
Every one of these people.
Wow. Okay. Well, I hope that don't happen again. And like I said, I did not do that. I mean, I set these things up every week. I did not do that. They are trying to stop this from getting out. Okay.
From our little old channel.
We ain't nobody.
To me, this is like
Watch
something
this.
out of a space movie.
Listen to what he's saying.
Because you have this small field with some.
He said it looks like something out of a space field because he goes around panoramic, Sandy, and every single house is perfect. Nothing was touched. And there is these two cars in this little grass field in the middle of a neighborhood.
And I honor this man. He is out there every day making multiple videos of anything he can get access to film, as well as sitting down with people, letting them tell their story and asking people to give because they're giving the funds that they receive directly. They're putting it directly into the hands of the people, the victims.
Everybody's saying they got a commercial.
I see that. Everybody.
So just bear with me and know that I'm going to make sure, I'm going to find out what happened. That does not happen again. Thank you for that thumbs down. Here we go.
Grass that burned, right? You can see where the grass burned. But then you have these two vehicles sitting in here that have melted.
Melted
Aluminum. So Donovan, if you want to just take us through this car real quick and show us, I know you know a few things about cars, you can point out some
melting
things
aluminum
that require a very high temperature. By the way, we just talked to the neighbor who was talking to an investigator in Lahaina Town yesterday, and he said the investigator told him the temperatures reached in excess of 3,000 degrees. So tell us what you got, Donovan.
Well, we have about 300 degrees for aluminum, and this aluminum
300?
1300.
1300. Okay, thank you.
1300. Well, 1220, but if you round it up, because it was not only melted, it was liquefied to the point where it became a river of aluminum going down there.
Look at this.
So he uses the word liquefy. We've been saying melted.
Yeah.
He said this is liquefied.
Yeah, I mean, you see the little trail, the running trail of aluminum. I mean, you've seen cars burning on the side of the road before. You've seen burned out cars that were left and the wrecker hadn't got it yet.
They don't look like that.
They don't look like that, and I've never seen running aluminum
But I'll say it again,
into the streets.
what it does look like are the cars that were in the California fires.
Clifton just said, I just got asked if I wanted to block you. What? Come on. Come at me. Come at me. You want some of me? You want some of me? Come on. You coming after my big picture family trying to get them to block me? Oh, we must be we must
Fire
be
match
hitting something.
laying there, and you have
We're
the
hitting pay
windows
dirt.
that were melted.
Keep digging.
The back window. If you look at the big old, like almost like
The glass is just melted.
The
Yeah, it
glass
was
is
ripping.
melted.
this is almost.
All right, so we got a lot of ground to cover, so I don't want to spend too much time on that one. But Sandy, we're talking about liquefied aluminum. You're talking about not just tires burning, but the wheels melting and disintegrating.
All but the metal from the steel belted radial is gone from the tire.
It's gone.
And then, like you said, the aluminum hub is.
And get this. I was trying to make sure that we cover all this in the allotted time that we have, that I did not show you in that first instance when they went to that first car. They got the hood open. Sandy, the motor was gone.
Oh, I watched both of these entire videos.
The entire ask yourself this. This is one of the things that guy says. It's one thing for there to be such fire, such heat in the middle of just grass and no other fuel, to melt an entire motor. But he points out, underneath the closed hood where there is no oxygen to feed it. How did a fire that hot get under the hood of a car to melt the engine block?
There's so much. We're not showing it tonight, and I honestly can't remember exactly where I saw it. But if you see the video with the two firefighters in the fire station being interviewed by the young lady from I can't remember what television station, they talk about they had to get into the engine, the fire truck, and the cab because they started being surrounded and it was hot and I think they're in their gear and there's smoke and they sat there and they were just petrified. And one of them says, well, then the glass started bubbling up on the windshield.
Wow.
Smoke started coming in from around the steering wheel. We realized we had to get out and just try to get on somewhere else around the vehicle or whatever. They thought that it was all going to end right there.
Wow.
And they started crying. They were very emotional. It was a lot. So it's not just the citizens and the residents. It's the first responders as well.
I want to say thank you to all of our partners because you are such a blessing to us. Our partners are growing every single week. Those that click that join button down below, you know who you are. From our heart to yours, we say thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. And so this right here is just, this is where you put your tinfoil hat on here, but this is just strange.
Oh, you're about to go there, aren't you?
This is just strange because some of you have already seen this and some of you have not seen this. And I'm not saying it's one thing or the other. I'm just saying it's a little strange that in a fire that is melting cars, for some reason,
a certain color,
it will not burn anything that's blue. What in the world? When I first heard this, I thought, this is silly. This is silly. This is just somebody.
So me being who I am, I helped him go deeper.
Yes, you did. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all don't even know how much you have to really thank Sandy, because a lot of things we wouldn't cover if it wasn't for her. But so you know what I thought? I thought, okay, it's so easy now to deep fake things and all this. But then we begin to realize this is legitimately real. So we're only going to play just about a minute and a half of this, but I want you to notice this is being reported by several people on the ground.
You know, all these houses, car rims were melted, all this intense heat, and yet we've got green trees everywhere. So there's all these questions. But what has come out recently is the color blue. Have you seen this?
Strange.
So first of all, The Simpsons. Of course, as most people have seen,
these are the umbrellas from Tommy Bahama's restaurant.
Yeah, I don't know about all this, The Simpsons being prophetic and all this, but he goes on to show that there was this town that burns up in a Simpsons episode. And
this is a statue that was covered by a blue tarp or whatever, and they're just showing you that it was not affected.
Yeah,
but this right here is good as
Everything
well.
blue. Lahaina burning down. A lot of things that are blue, for some reason, stood the test of the fire. The blue boat was the boat that survived. You got this blue car, and these homes had blue in it. I mean, it gets weird. This is the home from Hurricane Dora that survived, and the owner name was Dora. Got a little blue car right there. You'll see a lot of this blue imagery. First, you got this little turquoise type blue house, but here's another blue house. This one's painted blue. This is blue and it survived. Here alone, you can see the blue and red, but you can see a lot of different blue that survived. Right here, blue survived it. The cloth, the boat that survived in the ocean, and these are all just the mainstream articles showing this. The boat was blue. The car that survived, right, it's still blue. And I mean, this is what they showed in the mainstream news. And shout out to my friend, Dana.
Okay, I'm not going to say that.
Look at that picture. That's
that
still
it's
image.
this or that, but come on.
Look at that.
What?
That's not generated. That's fact. People. I've got several videos of people walking by that blue car.
So my question is, what is it?
I think the answer is we don't know. We don't know. It's just
very strange.
It's very strange.
I have no answers.
I have no answers. And I'm going to tell you what else. I'm mad because not only did they put commercials on everybody, they asked people if they wanted to block us. Now I'm even seeing that that several of the live chat comments have been removed. Some of the people are saying that some of their own comments have been removed from the live chat. We are on to something tonight, y'all. We stirring something up tonight.
You might have hit pay dirt tonight.
Well, if we didn't get kicked off then, we're going to get kicked off now probably.
Yeah.
Because this is the one that nobody wants to talk about. And I want to show you this gentleman right here because I want you to look for him on Facebook because he's a hero right now. I mean, this guy's very well off. He's he's unashamed that God's blessed him.
Mm-hmm. He's in real estate. He lives on Maui.
He's the #1 real estate agent in Maui and one of the top in all of Hawaii. So he's doing well. And he made this channel to promote real estate. But when this happened on his island where he lives, he realized no media was permitted. No one was reporting this. He put everything else aside, and Delane is saying he don't even see anybody else's chats anymore. Ooh,
wow.
This is one for the books, y'all.
You lit something up tonight,
This is one for the books. But he put everything aside, and he said,
I'm just going to go ahead and say, go ahead and like and share.
Yeah. I think this was the one you want to like and share. Like and share. Thumbs up, like and share. Like and share. Like and share. I mean, we got 227 people watching live right now, 115 likes. Come on. Hit the like. Yeah. Hit the like. Come on, help us because obviously they're coming after us.
Yeah.
But I fast forward to this part to this is when he gets emotional, and then this is where we're going to get emotional. Yeah. Here we go.
Where are the children? Where are the children? Where are the children? And I mean that in every way. Are they alive? Are they not alive? What happened to them? Are you a parent that is missing a child? A lot of things are not adding up right now when it comes to the children. They're just not adding up. And I don't know what the answer is, but if you just think about it logically, there's 1,000 missing people. Let's just say a third or a quarter are children under the age of 18. Let's just be conservative. Let's just say it's 100 children, just being conservative, that are missing. Wouldn't you expect then at least 50 or 60 parents that are crying out in the streets, that are posting on social media, that are frantically searching for their children, that are making a big huff and a puff and just incredibly upset?
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Just out of their mind.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing those posts.
Come on.
Not seeing those
That's
stories.
exactly what my thoughts are.
If you are someone that's on Maui that is missing a child, or your child perished, the world wants to hear from you. We need to find, this is to me the point of the spear. This is the most important, pressing question that needs to be answered right now. There's all kinds of rumors about by the way, the police chief said that there was one body recovered from the ocean. I had people in my home yesterday that showed me pictures on their iPhone that I didn't want to see, that were pictures of dead bodies in the ocean. I saw them with my own eyes. I'm not the police chief. I'm not anywhere close
to
this investigation, or I was in that town 2 days later when everything appeared to be cleaned up. The streets were already cleaned up. I'm just saying, I've seen pictures of people that were in the ocean. So regardless well, I just feel like the government needs to come forth right now and be transparent with what they know and quell the rumors, and it just doesn't make logical sense. And
it don't make logical sense because, as he said, I mean, you think about it. Every parent that's watching this, every grandparent that's watching this, if you had your child, okay, let's look at the best case scenario. You have your children with you, and you know that nobody's talking about the children. Would you not at least be saying, I got my kids, but we got to help people find their kids? There is nothing. There is no parents anywhere talking about children. And it gets worse.
We need to take some things into consideration. I've heard him say when he's on location that he has a Starlink in the back of his truck.
He does.
Where
he has one of the few
to broadcast.
Yeah. And they have no internet.
He's able to charge his phone and somehow get somewhere where he can broadcast.
Yes.
Somehow he's able to broadcast from his home. Many people may have a phone but no ability to put a video out there saying what we were talking about. And I want to add another layer to this. We know when there's fires, when there's floods, when there are tornadoes, there's a giant list of people that are still missing.
Right.
And almost all of them report in or found or located or whatever. So maybe some of these just haven't been able to report to an agency that they are actually okay. But we're talking about thousands.
Yeah, and then
still 20 days later.
20 days later. And then you think, okay, yes, he's one of the few that's had the Starlink, but you got to know Lahaina, Maui's a small island anyway, but then Lahaina is a very small area. So if you lived in Lahaina and you're still there, you know about this guy. You've probably seen him out doing. So where are the parents?
Well,
coming up to him going, tell everybody I'm looking for my baby. Look at this picture. They're nowhere to be found.
Even Eric from Hawaii Real Estate can't even go everywhere he would like to go. And we didn't touch on the videos that we've shown where he was out filming the cars. 2 police officers actually approached him and the man that was with him and told them they needed to stop and they needed to leave.
Yep. Man, there's some crazy stuff going on YouTube tonight. People are saying they're literally watching messages disappear. I mean, what in the world? What in the world?
You guys are stirring something up tonight.
And I'm going to tell you, some of y'all have got kicked off, come back. Y'all are faithful, and I appreciate it because you know you're not getting this everywhere else. So this is just a quick article, and then I want to show you a video. Over 2,400, listen, God almighty, I just can't
This is from yesterday.
I can't even hardly say it. Over 2,400 kids are missing in Maui, but aren't included in government's death toll. Now, they're not saying that 2,400 are dead.
Right.
This is what needs to be understood. I'm going to see if I can find it here. It says, here it is. So Hawaii officials have been encouraging families from Lahaina to enroll their children in school outside of the burn zone. The 4 schools of Lahaina served more than 3,000 students. Shocking. Only about 400 students from the burn area have reportedly enrolled in other public schools. I'm going to say that again. For the fire, Lahaina, the 4 schools in Lahaina had 3,000 students.
Let's say this again. I told you earlier, report from an article yesterday said, 2,700 acres were reported burned in that wide swath, which represented a lot of homes because they're very tightly packed. Most of the homes are small and old, and it's just very congested in that one area. And, of course, we know that most of those were native Hawaiian, not necessarily well-to-do, even though there are some very nice homes and mansions on the island. That's where most of those people lived in that area for the 2,700 acres.
And of course, school, if you didn't know this, school was out, or they had already told the students to stay home while the parents were working. And many of these children were at home when this fire hit. So shockingly, of the 3,000 that was enrolled in the Lahaina system, 400 students from the Bern area have enrolled in other public schools. Only around 200 more have made it publicly known or let the authorities know that they have signed up for distance learning, home learning. So that means 2,400 students are now currently left unaccounted for in the public school system. We are not saying that we know what happened to them. We're just saying that it's strange that 2,400 students are not in the system. And these figures do not even account for children who were already homeschooled in Lahaina, many of which could be missing as well. This is just those that were in the public school system. Then you come to this. This is what's going to enrage you, is because it's one thing to say that.
Oh.
And then you have
This is ridiculous. Yeah.
the mayor of Maui, okay? He is giving a press conference. What was this, like a week after? Something like that?
I watched this maybe a week ago. I don't know when this actually happened.
It's a very short video, but he's giving a press conference to just a handful of reporters. Because keep in mind, CNN was not there. MSNBC was not there. Only one guy from Fox News was there, and the only reason he was there is because he had family that lived in Maui, and he was there with family. So there was no major media after one of, if not probably the worst natural disaster death-wise in history. And there is this guy who was really the one that was responsible for East Palestine being exposed. He's an independent internet journalist that called out the officials of East Palestine.
Before you play this, and I don't know if you'll play this more than once, this is why I want to say this. There's a lot going on in this short clip.
Yeah.
You need to note what the mayor says and his demeanor. You need to note this woman beside him. Extremely strange.
Yeah.
Also, the person that you won't, I don't think you see unless the camera turns around and flashes, that shouts out after the mayor's comment. I mean, this thing is just
I think
full.
the person that shouts out is actually a resident.
It's either the resident or it's the guy of the video we're going to play later.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorter. His name's last name's Sorter.
I'm talking about somebody shouts out something like, just answer his question, something like that. But
we may need to play this more than once because there's a lot.
He goes on to say that at the end of this, he was actually put in a headlock. Now, yes, he said that. Not on this video. I've seen him subsequently say this. But now keep in mind, Mayor thinks he's just going to take a few softball questions.
And let's touch on this real quick. Repentor Parrish says, and I did see something on this, the tourists were escorted out of town the day before, put on buses, and sent away.
And the residents were told to go home. All right, listen.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. How many children are missing? You know.
I knew the answer to that. I'd be happy to answer that.
You have no estimate as to how many children are missing?
I guess we can end this right now if you guys want.
Pause it right there.
Sorry.
So the question is asked, and instead of answering it, he says, I guess we can just end this right now.
Yeah. He goes on to say, you messed it up for everybody.
You ruined it for everybody.
There's always somebody.
By asking one question?
Right.
The biggest questions that the people of Lahaina have, but you don't want to answer.
It always takes one or two.
Now watch the little woman, too.
Well, we could say that about you. You ruined it for everyone.
You're welcome to say it. You're the media. You can say whatever you want.
You're a disaster.
All right. Okay.
You've been the worst mayor we could possibly imagine.
You won't even wait.
Respect what? This is the most dismal response we've ever had.
You won't wait for your turn. You want to shout over these guys that are legitimate.
Why don't you give them the real answers then? Give them the real answers.
That's not his question.
There she goes again.
Yeah. You can go. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
And then right after that, he's led off and he says that one of the authorities there, or one of the bully guys, puts him in a headlock and forces him away. Then this happens. Oh my gosh. So this is the guy. This is the guy that just asked the question.
We think. Do we know that for sure?
Yes, we do know that for sure because he was on, what's his name show?
Steve Bannon.
Steve Bannon's show.
He's
talking about that.
Let's set this up. He's doing a live
This is live.
spot
Yep.
on the Steve Bannon show
Yep.
behind his hotel in the woods.
Talking about what happened with the mayor.
Talking about all these events and the mayor and everything. And, he's already, I think, said to Steve Bannon, and this clip is shorter than it needs to be because in the longer clip, he goes on to say, I'm being followed, I'm being threatened.
Yeah.
So let's watch this.
So he's live. And watch, this can't be faked. This was genuine fear that came on his face because he's live talking to Bannon, and then this happens.
People's minds here.
This guy walks up on him.
Nick, I've been trying to reach you.
What's up, Nick? I've been trying to reach you. And he says, I've been trying to reach you on X, which is formerly Twitter. And then he starts trying to intimidate him. He's live on the air on Real America's Voice channel with Steve Bannon.
Been reaching out to you on X. You're supposed to be meeting with people here. What victims have you had?
Okay, yeah. So this is so you're seeing this live right now. People actually tracked me down.
I thought you were staying in a tent. You said you were coming and staying in a tent, Nick. You're taking up resources.
I'm not taking up any resources here.
You're taking up resources. Literally trying to intimidate him on live television. They were assigned to go get him.
I wish we had the longer version of this little video because he will go on to say, nobody knows where I am or how to find me. How did these guys find me?
Yeah, exactly. How did they find me? And he don't just find him like he's harassing or he calls him by name. Hey, Nick, I've been trying to reach you, Nick.
This reminds me
you're supposed to be staying in a tent.
of a lot of movies that I've watched. Okay, I'm just gonna say.
Okay.
This next thing is super weird.
Okay, so we're just going to hit a few conspiracy things, and then we're going to make a comment, and we got a few more news items to cover. But you may or may not know this. It's hard to explain how this happened. I believe on the 8th, right? The fire happened on the 8th.
Was on the 8th.
By the 10th.
Hey, we got something on Repentant Parish.
The 10th was the debut of a book on Amazon about the fires, already blaming it on climate change.
And
guys,
if you watch this whole video, this guy goes to show that this book was published on August 10th, 2023.
This is almost too much. With all the crazy stories coming out of Maui, we've got a book here, Fire and Fury, the story of the Maui fires, published August 10th.
By the way, I went to Amazon and verified this.
2023, blaming climate change, and already has all these eyewitness accounts and first responder testimony. How? We're not even seeing that on the news right now. Published August 10th. Now, who is this guy, Dr. Miles Stones? What a weird pseudonym that is. June 20th this year, he published a book about Hunter Biden and how he overcame adversity. What a great, honorable guy. No, this is really suspect. And the name of the book, Fire and Fury, the story of the Maui fires, it's the same name as Fire and Fury, the story of the inside story of the Trump White House. What is going on? Who is Dr. Miles Stones? Let's figure this out.
The interesting thing is that this book, and I know we live in a world now where AI can write a book for you.
They can.
I got that. I got that you could just show it, write me a book about the Maui fires and put it out there.
But they wrote it, they got you a cover and got it for sale for you on Amazon in just 2 short days.
And the crazy thing is, he says it has first responders' testimony in it. Yep. We've not got first responders' testimony anywhere else, but yet it's in this book that's supposedly come out.
I don't know if you're seeing this.
It's almost like it was planned.
People are still saying chat's gone, comments are gone. Somebody said he got a call with people's crazy names on caller ID.
Another commercial break.
This is crazy, okay?
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Got a commercial. Another commercial.
I'm not sending you commercials.
We've not stopped talking, okay?
I'm not. I set this thing up. I set this up the same way I set up every week.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. It's not
whatever commercial money comes in, I'm donating it. Okay, I'm going to donate it.
Right.
I'm not kidding. We did not do this. We did not do this.
It was not set up this way.
This is to discourage people. They get a commercial, they get mad to go away and not stay with the program because
Right.
they were trying to discourage us from getting this information out. Now, Sandy, before we move from the fires, because we do have a lot more to cover that is just as important. I mean, crazy stuff is happening all around the world. I want to show you a map that is in real time.
Right.
Okay? I'm going to start with what we're talking about. Okay? This is a map called registerguard.com. You can go out there and look at it yourself. registerguard.com/fires. This is a real-time record of current and recent major forest fires. This is Hawaii, okay? You see, this is the Maui fires. They're showing a fire on the Big Island.
Yep.
Okay? So these are recent fires, wildfires in Hawaii. This is what is on everybody's mind. But what is not being talked about is just how many fires are actually going on right now. It's insane. When I zoom back away from Hawaii and I move over to the mainland, North America.
Yep.
Look at this. That's North America.
If Billy Mitchell or someone out there can tell us
Look
how
at
many
this.
acres have burned in Canada, I think it's
Look
in the
at this.
millions
Yeah.
of acres.
Canada is on fire. Look at Canada.
It's crazy.
That is Canada. All of that from the right side curving up to the left. You can't even make out any land. It is unbelievable. They just tried to restart this broadcast from the beginning on me.
On Alicia.
My God, Alicia. Wow.
What is it going to take for us to get through
We're going to make it. We got another hour to go. God almighty, this is crazy. Yeah, somebody said I went to Rumble. No commercials there. Ding, ding,
Wow.
ding, ding, ding. That's what I'm telling you. Make sure you subscribe and follow us
Well,
on
Sister
Rumble.
Naomi, if you know that, then pray for us.
Watch this. Look at this.
Pray,
Look.
pray.
Now, this is hard to make out the country, but you can see New York.
Yes.
So you understand that's the East Coast. This is the United States and Canada.
Okay, 37 million, Billy Mitchell said. Thank you. I can
The
always
stat
count
man.
on him. He is on it.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's Canada. Goes all the way over.
So while we're talking about Maui, and we should, what in the world are these people in Canada thinking?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how are they breathing?
Yeah.
Look, because see, the legend down at the bottom, you'll see it shows you the layers of smoke. Look how much of is covered in smoke. That's difficult to breathe. These are fires, current or recent fires.
Yes.
All of the red circles are fire hazards.
Over 1,000 active fires in Canada as of Wednesday. Thank you, DRW.
I'm going to put that up there. 1,054 active wildfires in Canada, which have burned 13.7 million or 30 hectares or 33.9 million acres as of August 19th. And that don't even come into where we're at now. That's just crazy.
Yes.
So who would have thought that the way the Agenda 2030 was going to take land was they was going to burn it to the ground.
Burn it and then let Blackrock buy it up?
Exactly.
So people can't return? I mean, is that the plan?
It's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
We would just want to stop right now and go ahead and put out there, we're not suicidal.
Exactly.
We're
very happy. We love each other. We're happily married.
Intention to commit suicide.
Nope.
Not being funny about suicide.
Nope.
Just want to let you know.
By the way, that word will get you flagged just for saying
Just
it.
want to let you know
Okay.
we're not that word.
Yeah, exactly. And for those that stayed to the end tonight, I just want to do this for y'all.
Woo!
You are the
Just
heroes. You are the heroes.
Ah.
Wow. It's unreal.
I never would have imagined.
Last article on the fires is to me disgusting. Because we've told you about the blackout. Now watch this.
This is crazy.
This
is cray-cray.
This is cray-cray. Right now in Lahaina, and you're going to see, this is not just a picture, you're going to see a video. Black fencing is being erected in Lahaina, Maui. And I've seen that some of the comments on some other videos that say, well, they're just trying to protect the people from dust. Look how high that is. Can dust get over that? Of course it can. Okay. They're talking about they're getting ready to clean up, and they want to make sure the dust doesn't go over onto the highway. It's already being called the Biden curtain, which I don't necessarily agree with that. But as new videos from Lahaina, Maui reveal miles of black curtains erected, miles, to prevent people from seeing what's happening in the origin site of this month's catastrophic wildfires in Hawaii. So let's just watch this little video here.
There seems to be a huge emphasis on ensuring that the media and anyone else can't see what's going on here in Lahaina, West Maui. There are miles and miles of this black fence going up that was not here before.
Unbelievable.
That is obscuring ground zero and making sure no one can see what's going on inside of there from the road. No one can get in there. No one can take any pictures. And then I've also seen these weird foreign...
These are third-party police.
Is this the private security I heard somebody talking about?
This is the private security. These are unmarked police cars other than just a little tiny light on the top. You can see a little red light that are showing up on the sides of the roads because the police are being overmanned to be able to maintain the people. If you get out and you start trying to video, they run you off. You see that in Hawaii real estate's videos. Right. They just keep getting run off. They keep getting told, you got to stop that. Get in your car, leave. You can't video this. You can't video this. What the First Amendment, last time I checked, is still in the Constitution. Now they're bringing in outside third-party private security police, putting them on the sides of the roads.
Has a great social experiment been performed on this island?
I think that's very,
police
very
cars
obvious.
Showing up, these special police, I'm not sure what to call them. This is a Nissan, but there's quite a large presence of these standing guard around the perimeter. We've also lost our ability to fly drones really anywhere near this area.
You cannot do that.
20-second clip here that I tried to get out of my car and show what was going on.
Look how long that fence is.
Almost immediately after these 20 seconds, National Guard came, chased me off, yelled at me, told me to get back in my car and keep moving. So you cannot pull over. You can't even stop your car anywhere near any of this anymore. Now I'm going to show you a fairly long clip that shows just how extensive the fencing is on the western side of the main
We can do this, but we can't help people that lost everything they owned.
National Guard, regular police, and what I...
Dare I say we can do this, but we can't build a wall somewhere else?
Dubbed special police, which are these police cars that are foreign made. The people that are driving them they don't look like any police I've ever seen in the United States. So kind of a bizarre situation, but they have a huge presence, standing guard.
It just keeps going.
Ensuring that nothing can be documented.
How much money?
You can't stop your car.
How
you
much
can't
time?
pull over. You can't fly a drone. You can't take a picture. You can't get in anywhere near any of this, which is part of what makes the footage that I have so unique. Now, I always make sure to point out that the footage that I have has been uploaded to the mainland to multiple people. They have the credentials to my social media.
Unbelievable.
So if anything does happen to me,
it just
not
keeps
going to prevent
going.
The story getting out. But
so we can't get help to the people of Lahaina.
No.
But in a matter of a week, we can erect a fence
and have private police or security.
Have private police.
I want to say one more thing because people are in chat are just provoking me, and they just
please do not do that. I'm going to get kicked off if you provoke her.
So I'm just going to say something. We're from the 80s, like we weren't born in the 80s, but we were children of the 80s. So Ronald Reagan's Star Wars, or SDI, Strategic Defense Initiative, the whole plan about weapons in space, was a big thing during our formidable years when we were coming up. And I keep seeing comments about lasers, laser weapon, lasers from space. I do believe that what he wanted to do, or at least portions of what President Reagan wanted to do, happened. I think that there is probably something up there. And you know how the movies are so predictive? There's so much predictive programming in the movies.
Yep.
I don't remember the name of which one of the James Bond installments that this movie was. But a lot of you out there will remember the movie where he goes to, I don't know if it was the Arctic, I don't think it was Antarctica, where everything was frozen and it was the ice palace.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all about the weapon in space called Icarus, and it could shoot lasers down.
Yes, I remember that.
You remember it?
Yes.
So, and it melted the ice palace. So, whenever I first started getting indoctrinated and about all these things about Jews, the direct energy weapons, of course, I had seen that movie, and my mind immediately went to, oh my goodness, this movie was telling us. And I didn't understand. I didn't know about predictive programming back then. I didn't know about all of these things. But pieces of the puzzle started falling into place for me. And I just really believe that movie was predictive programming about if there are actually things called Jews, if they do have weapons in space and they're using them against us and against our enemies, that it was trying to tell it. GoldenEye. Thank you.
Yeah. So there's GoldenEye. People are saying we're living in GoldenEye. We're living in Hunger Games. We're living in Divergent. We're living in so many movies, y'all, that we just thought it was movies, but it's becoming reality. Yeah. One last, I hate to say it, heartbreaking thing. I want you to hear this. This is from a local about what happened to her and her frustrations, and then we're going to cover a few other news items.
There was a police barricade blocking the street, so people couldn't get out. But the people trying to escape in those cars,
they call this Front Street.
They were blockaded.
Look, there's the blue car.
Yep, there's the blue car on Front Street.
The water was shut off. Firefighters couldn't fight this. The local people couldn't save their own homes. School was canceled that day. You had children, our keiki, babies, and elderly trapped in the homes. That's who they're recovering. As a Hawaii native, as somebody born and raised on the island of Maui, as somebody who has family and friends and community over there, please keep talking about it. Please keep talking about it. Share videos, comment on posts, like videos. Even if it feels icky liking them, it helps the algorithm. Push this message, their messages out. Make sure the world knows what is happening, what is really going on, because I can promise you guys this, and of course I have to say allegedly so I don't get in trouble. You guys are not seeing the same news and social media posts as to what's actually going on there. I'm from Maui. That is my home, and I am not even seeing my friends and family members post about this that are sharing videos, and I'm getting all kinds of conflicting information. But I can tell you that the one that's coming from the media, allegedly, and I'm not talking about Maui News or Maui Times or Maui News Now or anything like that, because they are being blocked too, but the ones that are coming from the media over here are absolutely trash. It is not true, and they're painting a different picture, and they're trying to create division, and they're going to put the blame on the power company or on the firefighters or the first responders. They're following orders. My son's father...
They're following orders.
Yeah.
Who's giving the orders?
Heard that more than a few times.
Yeah. Who's giving the orders?
Concerning this?
Who is giving the orders? I believe one of the ones that's giving the orders is found in Davos, Switzerland, because I believe that we are seeing. I told you, this is killing me. I told you that Agenda 2030. When it started kicking in, it was going to be hard to cover. It was going to be hard to look at. Because where they want to get us by 2030, we were nowhere near that.
They had to ramp it up.
They had to ramp it up. And that's why we put the title of this, it's in turbo speed, because it is. It's in turbo speed.
We're feeling it and seeing it every week.
Every week. Well, how do you transition from that? That's an hour of and it's just like what that lady said there at the end. She's like, please, I know it feels icky to like something because you don't like it, but the algorithm has to have you to like it. And when you like it and when you share it, it helps at least more than it would normally have the ability to get the word out.
We need to do this because they're going to throttle this information down.
Yes.
They're going to censor. They're going to stop.
Look, we're just a little baby channel. Look what happened to us tonight.
Unbelievable.
We're just
unbelievable.
People don't even know who we are. We're just now building a channel, and this happens to us tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, while all this is going on, there's other stuff going on too, Sandy. I mean,
yes.
BRICS is exploding.
This is one thing.
That's just one thing.
That's one thing we just spent an hour on.
Right now, was it South America? I mean, South Africa, where they're having their conference, a BRICS conference?
I believe so.
Okay.
They didn't call it a conference. They called it a summit.
The summit. BRICS added 6 new members. So America is plummeting in financial and influence. So now they control 80%. BRICS, which is basically communist and enemies of America and Europe, especially the UK, now controls 80% of the world's oil supplies as bloc calls for end of U.S. world order. Control oil and you control nations. Control food.
There you go.
And you control people. Henry Kissinger. Yeah. And that is exactly what is happening right now. Our food is being manipulated and changed. Our oil is being taken away from us.
Not only manipulated and changed, but with so many fertilizer plants exploding, burning up, or we're being cut off from Russia from receiving any, you can't even grow food to manipulate it in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, don't forget every Thursday night, right here at 7 o'clock is the Kingdom Intelligence Report. Paul Begley, Ricky Scaparo, Stan Dale, and Mark Carell. Now, Mark has been having some health issues. I talked with him today. He's getting stronger.
Great.
He's looking forward to joining us in the month of September. So you keep him in your prayers. And then one other quick thing, if you didn't already know this, our television show now airs every Sunday night at 5 o'clock right here on this YouTube channel. And you'll basically, it's 1 week behind the actual television production. And we've had 2 different shows that you can find right now. This is the part 2. They're both available right here on our channel. And you can look that up and watch. They're only 28 minutes. And I know that that'll be a blessing to you. With the addition of these nations now, the article goes on to say that it now represents 46% of the entire world's population. 40 countries have already, in addition to this, expressed interest in joining BRICS. Roughly 60 countries were in attendance at the forum. So we see that all our lives we've heard about NATO, G7, all these kind of things. One by one, they're leaving NATO. A lot of them are, but they're more than anything, they're leaving G7. They're leaving America's dollar. And then I want to talk about this right here is because one of the main countries of BRICS is China. Yes. It's basically the main country. You have Russia as well, but it's Russia and China the main countries. We talk a lot about war here. I've got a program here where I told you about the intelligence that's been given to me and reconfirmed that the United States will probably be at war with China by 2024. And they're waiting on the election drama to start up in America before they make their move towards Taiwan. Well, one of the things that causes people to launch into war a lot of times is when their economy is crashing. What a lot of people don't know about Japan, when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, of course they were trying to drag America in, but I've watched many historical documentaries on it. Japan's economy was crumbling. Yeah. And they realized the only way that they could justify to the Japanese people to continue this war is they had to up the ante. So it was a war footing, but it was also an economic thing they did to attack Pearl Harbor to draw America into the war. And so this is being reported by multiple people that as we speak, even though China has become a superpower and influence, their economy is crashing internally. And it says that China finally reopened its economy. A lot of this is due to COVID. This year, after years and years of extreme COVID restrictions, so far it's been a giant fizzle with profound ramifications for the rest of the globe. China has been a reliable engine powering global growth for 3 decades, becoming the world's second largest economy in the process. That engine, for now, looks to have stalled out. What's happening? Instead of the robust bounce back much of the world experienced with its reopening, the Chinese economy is muddling along with weak growth, falling prices, and popped real estate bubble and mass unemployment among its young adults. Cracks have been evident in the Chinese growth juggernaut for years as its government exerted a heavier hand with businesses, constricting private sector investments. The reason I put this article in here is I believe this is another piece in the puzzle trying to tell us that China really is about to do something very, very serious to draw America and others into a conflict with them.
Well, years ago, I told you that there's this thing in China called the ghost cities.
Yes.
And literally, they build cities that are empty buildings.
Right.
One of these cities alone
massive
can house multiple millions, but nobody lives there.
Nobody lives there.
Why? Because, and I didn't understand this until recently. You talk about real estate in China, because a lot of the Chinese will invest some of their money in real estate. And a lot of them are investing into these unoccupied apartments or condos in these high-rise buildings. And they're parking their money there because it's a safe place. And they're unfinished.
Right.
And they'd rather keep them empty and unoccupied because by the time they finish it out and they can only charge so much for someone to live there and their payment is it just doesn't balance out. It's a crazy way of thinking, but they really are satisfied to park their money into this unoccupied real estate and just hold on to it.
Yeah.
And you have ghost cities that no one's living in.
That's insane.
It's insane.
That is like that is like another dystopian movie to where all of a sudden you've got these people that you've hoarded them up and then you put them on a train, you get them off a train, and then there's these existing buildings that nobody even knew was there, and that's where you house them and basically becomes a prison.
So folks are saying that the real estate market went bust this weekend. I can't verify that.
The Chinese real estate market.
Chinese real estate market went bust this weekend. But certainly I've read some articles in the last couple of days talking about the real estate market.
Well, speaking of the wah-wah, as we are well into hour 2 here, the wah-wah is coming back. And I don't think it ever left. But this was spotted this week in New York City on the top of a police car pushing 6 feet again. Pushing 6 feet again. This is my question that I had back then when we had the little stickers every 6 feet. Who came up with 6 feet? I mean, is 5 feet going to get you? But 7 feet is, that's really good.
Well, I told you what Steve Quayle said. He said 6 feet was the minimal distance person to person to distinguish one person from another digitally, electronically.
Wow! So that you have plenty of room to facial scan and all of that.
Now I can't prove that. I know he said that and gave that for a reasoning. I would love it if someone knew that was exactly and precisely the reason for 6 feet.
This is being ramped up quickly. Biden plans to ask Congress for funding to develop a new vaccine. I saw his press secretary in a clip today confirm that they are preparing to require and push it, and will make a public statement probably this week or next week to prepare for September, is what they said. September, a new vaccine will be available, and they were going to push it that everyone gets it. And the narrative is this: whether you've got it or not in the past, you will need this one. And that is the narrative. Biden administration is now going after ceiling fans, Sandy. Ceiling fans.
Yeah, you told me this earlier.
Yep.
I perused this article. I still can't believe it.
I mean,
What?
yeah. So it's like you came after gas stoves, then you came after gas hot water heaters.
They want you to turn your air conditioning thermostat up to like 80 or higher.
So now it is this don't even seem possible, but this is true. This proposed rule would decrease the maximum estimated energy consumption permissible for large diameter and belt-driven ceiling fans. This is in the writing of this proposal. After attempts to ban gas stoves burn such proposals, Democrats, proponents, and proposed new federal vehicle efficiency standards seek to force costs even higher. The Biden administration is now going after, drumroll please, ceiling fans. Remember, they was also going after generators. Remember that?
Yeah.
Republicans in the House of Representatives, however, are not fans of the proposal due to the impact it looks to have on American small business. You think? It says the proposed rule would decrease the maximum estimated energy consumption permissible for large diameter belt-driven ceiling fans. This rule would require numerous small businesses, fan manufacturers, to redesign their products and may put between 10 and 30% of small business ceiling fan manufacturers out of business. It appears that the Department of Energy may not have properly considered small entities during the rule. No, I say that they did consider them, and that's part of it.
Do you know who
we need to get rid of?
Do you know who this is going to kill if this comes to pass?
Elderly.
Me.
Yeah, this is true.
I have a ceiling fan in every room. The laundry room.
The kitchen.
The bathroom. The bedrooms. Everything.
People come in our house and they're like, "You got a ceiling fan here?" And I'm like, "Have you met my wife?"
Yeah, it has to happen. I'm even trying to. We have some on the back porch, obviously.
Yes.
Alabama in the summer, you need it. What?
Yeah, exactly. What? We're just going to rapid fire here, this next article makes a lot of sense to me. There's a huge surge in online searches for living off the grid in the United States as society breaks down.
I love this Wine Press news agency.
Oh, me too.
They're awesome.
An increasing number of Americans are starting to realize that they need to get out of the cities and suburbs and move off the grid into more rural communities and out in nature. I mean, I don't know. Do you think, could we live off the grid?
Not you.
No.
Probably not me.
Yeah, I
be
know.
Worse.
No. I mean, it's a good thought, but it's. I don't think that's possible for us. And by the way, if you would like to get a copy of our book, many of you have blessed me with great reviews on our book. It's just been a blessing. You can go to LarryRagland.com. You can get our new copy of our book. It is in hardcover and paperback now. And you just click the book there or click the words there. It will take you straight to where you can purchase it. We also have merchandise that many of you have already commented in the live chat that you got them on tonight. You got your Wake Not Woke, and, we ain't woke. We certainly are awake shirts. I see greatness in you mugs. Some of you got your Awake Not Woke stickers. You can all go there, all of that, get your hat, get your boggin, and so much more. And all you got to do is go to LarryRagland.com and you can get that.
Hey, Blessed Hope in the Philippines.
All right. Yeah, that's a blessing. They set their alarm to wake up out there and be a blessing to us there. I just killed one of our articles here that I was going to show accidentally. But you talked about this earlier. Let's rapidly hit this here. The super blue moon is coming on August 30th. That's 2 days from today, right? Is this 28? Yeah, yep. 2 days from today. The biggest and brightest full moon of the year. So that's going to be interesting. We love to look at the full moons, but we have the added prayer that they believe that's going to affect the tides, as we said earlier, in Florida. So let's hit this other news article here. And this one is shocking. UK carries out first ever womb transplant as sister donates uterus. Now, I'm going to read the article, and then I'm going to tell you what's really going on here, okay? I'm going to give you the rest of the story in the memory of Paul Harvey. It's perhaps a sign of how deep into dystopia our planet has gone, that rather than seeing this as some kind of stellar achievement, one's mind instead can't help but dread how it would be used in the decaying West for sinister purposes. The United Kingdom has made medical history with doctors carrying out the country's first womb transplant. Surgeons at Churchill Hospital in Oxford successfully transplanted a sister's womb to her 34-year-old sibling in an operation that lasted 9 hours and 20 minutes on Sunday. The operation to remove the donor's womb lasted more than 8 hours. It was incredible. I think it was probably the most stressful week in my surgical career, but also an unbelievably positive. The donor and recipient are over the moon, just over the moon. The recipient of the womb, also called a uterus, was diagnosed with this, I'm not even going to attempt that condition.
That is a big...
Yeah, a rare condition that impacts women's reproductive systems. In order to conceive, she stored her embryos with the goal of undergoing vitro fertilization treatments later this year. But her sister, 40, was willing to donate her uterus after giving birth to her own 2 children, facilitating a womb transplant procedure. It said the womb was functioning perfectly. The transplant is expected to last for a maximum of 5 years before the womb is removed, and during this period, the recipient will have to take immunosuppressant drugs to ensure she does not reject the implant. Hopefully that embryo will take, and hopefully 9 months later, she'll have a cesarean section. So, on the surface, that is a feel-good story because that is a woman who could not have a child. They're saying now has the potential of having a child because her sister donated the womb. But Sandy, I told you today where this is going.
You did.
This is absolutely where it's going.
And I think that you are on to something. And my mind didn't go there or put that together. And before we get deeper into this, I am seeing multiple people say, just had another ad, just had another commercial.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I promise you I will be contacting YouTube and I will be finding out what happened.
So I think we should maybe not go real deep, but just touch on your theory.
All right. So we all know what we're dealing with in the world here about men and women. And they got a lot of dudes out there that think they're a dudette. And the dudes are putting on makeup and dressing up, and they're saying, oh, their dream is to be a dudette and to do what dudettes do. And one of the things that the dudettes do is they have the ability to have a baby. And so this is where this is going, okay? This is being spun as a feel-good thing, but it's going to be transplanted into a man. And that man is going to be on the cover of every magazine. It's going to be the most life-altering. It's going to be so amazing that a man who now thinks he's not a man anymore will have a womb, and it won't be – right now we have what they call men that are pregnant, but they used to be a woman, and now they're a man and they're pregnant. But these will be actual men that will be pregnant and have to have a C-section, and that's where this is going. That's where this is going. It's trying to assault the Creator. Would you agree?
I think you're onto something. I mean, we'll have to follow it out and see if that, does happen. But I think it's a very good theory on your part. So
yeah. So that's just something that's one of the things about the big picture. We just tell you things that's going on. You ain't gonna hear this on the regular news. Right. I promise you that. You are not gonna hear that on the regular news.
Right.
So I think it's time. I've been wondering when he was going to come around. Some of y'all thought that he wasn't going to make it tonight.
You were wrong because it's the
Uncle Jimmy
bringing us tonight.
It is the Supernatural AI Update.
Thank you, Jimmy. And he's had it pretty easy lately, but I hope he's been enjoying his downtime because I think it's about to be double down time with another UFO.
Yeah, that's right. We ain't been talking about UFOs lately.
Alien story.
I guarantee you we about to start hearing a lot more about UFOs because that's the ultimate distraction.
It is.
When you got Agenda 2030 to go, the aliens are the ultimate distraction.
It's the ultimate distraction. We've seen it's the ultimate distraction, and we've seen that it moves in cycles.
Yep. Hey, Sandy. I'm not saying it's aliens.
But it's aliens.
What would happen? I know that guy's not a believer. I mean, he's not a believer in Jesus. But what if I could get that dude on the show? The guy that's got the hair? I can't think of his name.
Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Okay.
It's ancient aliens, folks.
I just call him the alien guy. He's the guy that says, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. Okay, so this is not aliens, but this is robots. And this is freaky, y'all. This is
crazy.
This is crazy.
When you have time, you need to watch more than what we will probably be able to show here.
Yeah, just look for the channel Pro Robots, and you can find this. WRC 2023, China's largest robot exhibition, just happened. All right, let's just check this out.
That is loud.
The World Robot Conference 2023 was held in Beijing, which became the largest in its history. 7 days instead of the usual 4, 45,000 square meters, more than 160 companies and more than 600 robots, almost 60 of which were presented to the public for the first time. In addition, more than 300 international experts came to Beijing after the lifting of anti-cowboy restrictions. What struck our film crew most of all at the exhibition was the great variety of humanoids and bionic robots, which quite predictably became the main hits of the exposition.
Those are not real people?
First things first.
Do you know what I liked?
What?
Did you like how he changed it to anti-cowboy? Did you catch that?
No,
instead
I did not.
Instead of saying the wah wah, he's covering it so that he don't get trapped, and he calls it cowboy. That was
According to Shin Gobin, China has been first in the world in terms of robot sales for 10 years, and the country accounts for more than half of global sales of industrial robots. Already today in China, there are 392 industrial robots per 10,000 workers, and this is a very, very good indicator.
All right, let's fast forward here.
The first visitors to the expedition are greeted by robots that copy famous Chinese poets Li Bo and Du Fu, reciting their works.
There's the bartender.
The Dalian company X Robots, which specializes in research in the field of intelligent humanoids and the creation of hyper-realistic bionic robots, is responsible for such performances every year at the exhibition. The bartender robot, which fully reproduces the appearance of one of the company's employees, attracted a lot of public attention. The robot's movements were quite smooth. His facial expression was constantly changing, and as it turned out, his double is already working in one of the bars in Khmer.
I want you to see Shiva.
In order to demonstrate the effective work of the joints created by them, X-Robots brought a robot performing the dance 1,000
Is that it, Shiva?
I'm calling this
compared
one
to the elegance of the original, it is still far off.
These are real.
But the softness and synchronization of the robot's movements are
I'm calling
impressive.
that one Shiva.
The developers believe that this technology
It is literally modeled after Shiva.
can be developed and further used as
But
prosthetic
it looks like it for real, though, right?
The
I mean, it makes
company
you
is
think of
already
Shiva.
seriously thinking about creating robot doppelgangers.
The destroyer of worlds. I tried to tell you.
That dude. What?
Yes.
How can this ever end good? This is not going to be good.
I want to point something out. For those of you who listen to Mike from around the world, when he said a while back, you've already seen an AI news reporter, but you just didn't know it.
You just didn't know it.
It may have been better technology than this robot that you're seeing, but that's what he said.
And see, AI can be generated on a screen, but these dudes can be talking to you in standing in front of you, and you wouldn't know it.
So if they're letting us see this, there's probably better technology that we're not allowed to see
the expression of his face is copied on the.
Do we not always default to that, Sandy? That whatever we see, we automatically now say,
I do.
What in the world are we not seeing?
I do.
Would everybody in the live chat agree with that? I mean, I think everybody would. As we move on here in the whole control aspect and the somebody just said coming to your job to take your job soon.
I believe that too.
That's actually going to happen. Microsoft is now filing for a face tracking patent. A patent filed in the U.S. shows that Microsoft is working on technology that would allow it to track a person's face in a way so comprehensive that the device powered by the tech could be referred to as a face reader. And it could be used for gaming, but also tracking remote employees and who knows what else in between. Microsoft says it needs the patent approved to develop mixed reality headsets that would be cheaper yet better at understanding expressions from human faces. The patent filing doesn't go into many considerations other than that of a purely technological nature. And that in a nutshell is showing you how the underdeveloped technology works. So basically, it's not a face scanner, but a face reader that Microsoft is trying to patent so that they can read your expressions and be able to know even your emotions digitally.
Which is perfect, since they can already read your mind anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So they say.
So they say. And I believe they're absolutely doing that. All right, so we got a couple more news items to cover.
There's more?
There's one more that I think we really need to get to after this one. But this right here just really tells you what all of this AI is doing. See, we understand on this channel, okay? We call it the big picture for a reason, because there is more going on than what we can see and what we can hear. Yes. And we're trying our best to report on everything we can to show you evidence that the world is not as it seems. But there are certain things that we can never put on this program because they are in the spirit realm. They are in another realm. They're in another dimension. You know, I went there Sunday.
I was just about to say, you are all over that.
What was that term I used Sunday about the dimensions?
The dimensions are merging.
The dimensions are merging.
I loved that.
You know, the Bible says in Hebrews chapter 12, everything that can be shaken, heaven and earth will be shaken until that which cannot be shaken remains. That's Hebrews chapter 12. We are in that shaking now, that if you do not have a firm foundation, you will fall for anything. Because you have AI that can pretend to be a human being and trick you beyond recognition. You won't even know it.
Yep.
You've got deep fakes that are unbelievable. I've seen some deep fakes of Tom Cruise that is insane. I mean, now I just convinced that they were Tom Cruise, and then all of a sudden he walks in beside the guy, and it's the real Tom Cruise.
Well, okay.
And
there's hologram technology.
Yep.
To go along with other technologies.
Yep. So think all the way back to when we didn't watch American Idol in forever. I mean, I don't know how many years it's been, but back when we were watching it, remember Celine Dion did a duet with Elvis.
Yes.
He was on the stage. And she was looking at him, and they were singing in harmony.
That's what they let us see.
That's what they let us see.
Way back then.
How many years ago was that? 20 years?
Oh, my goodness. Not 20, but a lot.
Okay. That was a long time. I mean, if they were doing that then, like you said, Mike, from around the world, I mean, who knows who we've actually talked to. But let's also go back. Not trying to be preachy on this Monday night, but I am a preacher. It goes back to this. The Bible says, be careful.
Yeah.
To entertain strangers. For you may not even realize that you've entertained an angel and you're unaware. So it's like, if that's the case, there are realms that we can't comprehend. That they're outside of the natural realm. Yes. They are in the spirit realm. Just like this is the illustration that I always give. Right now, in the room that you're at, wherever you're at, listening or watching this, all around you, whether you're inside or outside, there are signals. There are frequencies.
Frequencies, yeah.
Everywhere. I mean, everywhere you're at, there's frequencies. And so that means there's radio stations, there's TV stations, there's internet, there's
flying
Wi-Fi.
all around us.
They're flying all around us.
All the time.
And we don't really think about it. All that we need is the correct tuner to tune into the different frequencies that are designed to pick these things up. And then all of a sudden, it's like magic. You can be sitting right next to someone that maybe has an antenna for a TV and another person has an antenna for TV. In the same room, invisibly, you can watch two different channels that are in that room because the frequencies and the signals are in that room. Well, that's in the natural. Well, in the spirit realm, there are demons. There are entities that we will cover in future programs.
Let's just say the good guys and the bad guys are out there.
They're out there.
At the same time.
They're
in
out
the same
there.
place.
And they're warring.
Yeah.
They're warring. But what's happening is as we wind this thing down called humanity and we prepare for eternity, for the next phase of the world when Jesus comes back, is those dimensions are merging. And the spirit realm is starting to manifest in the natural. And the natural is starting to sense the spirit realm. And if you're not founded on a strong foundation, you will fall for anything. And this is a shocking headline in the natural. But I'm be honest with you, I've been doing this a long time. I've been in the ministry for a long time. And honestly, this really doesn't shock me because people who should be strong in their faith are not. And they've been going to churches that have pastors that don't tell the truth. And they've been worried more about coffee and donuts and smoke machines and lights. I'm not against any of that.
You mean instead of the power and demonstration of the Holy Spirit?
Exactly.
Of God?
Paul said, I came not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in the demonstration of the power of God. So that brings me to this headline. University study claims. I thought this was a typo. I thought it was opposite when I first read it, and I read it again. Claims that people who believe in God are more likely to accept advice from AI versus people who do not.
Yeah, what is that about?
What in the world?
What in the world?
AI is now ubiquitous part of everyday life for much of the world, perhaps even akin to the pervasiveness of God, the researcher said. Does active belief in a higher power correlate with ready acceptance of what an AI chatbot says? A new study by Duke University suggests that noting that people who are regularly thinking about God appear to be more open to hearing what artificial intelligence has to say. The researchers were investigating the psychological factors that influence people's attitudes towards AI-based recommendations. Specifically, the researchers explored the role of God's salience in decision-making and whether thinking about God makes people more or less to trust AI systems over human experts. The study asked participants to write about God in their daily activities. The participants would then choose between two options, one pro-offered by a human and one suggested by an AI. The experiments range from relatively benign decisions, blah, blah, blah. Several studies were convened, and it basically says artificial intelligence, once merely the draw of drama of science fiction, is now featured in everyday life, and AI is commonly used to generate recommendations. As AI recommendations become increasingly prevalent and the world grapples with its benefits and costs, it is important to understand the factors that shape whether people accept or reject AI-based recommendations. So it's shocking to me, but here's the thing. When I read this is what I thought about, is that the Bible says there'll be a great deception that happens. The final generation will be so deceived that even the very elect could be deceived if it was possible. So that means there'll be a small remnant of people. That's why, listen, you need to be in a church. This is not a show tonight. Understand that. It's a news show. But you need to get in a good church that has a good pastor preaching the word. But also, you need to make sure that you like and subscribe this channel. I don't know how long this channel is going to survive.
Right.
You need to follow us on YouTube, on Rumble. I don't know how long it's going to survive because she knows this. God has got me in a place where I'm just going there a little bit more and a little bit more every week. And it's because I feel a sense that we're running out of time.
Yeah.
I feel a sense that if we do not get on this channel and tell you the truth, I'm going to stand before God. And I'm going to have to give an account for not telling you the truth. And I ask you to pray for us. I'm really wondering if I should say this. I'm live. So if I say it, I say it. It's out there. But let me put it this way. I have got several, and she knows what I'm talking about, very intense threats that are starting to come against me. Yeah. And threats like, if you need me to help you meet your God, I'll help you meet your God. And I think you know what that means. So what is that about? That is because they don't like what they're seeing, not just on this channel, but what we're posting, the statuses, the Instagrams, and things that we're posting, because we're doing our best to not be hateful, but we are not afraid to call out this woke agenda and what is happening to our children. So therefore, there is a target on our back. Yes. So I really, really, really need your prayers, Sandy, and I need your prayers.
Yes, we do.
Because it's not easy to come on here and talk about all this stuff.
No, some nights are especially hard. Like I said, was it last week or the week before? We had to pray before and after.
Yeah. Yeah. We ran out of time. We didn't pray before this one. My God, we should have.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did? Thank God. Thank God.
We were in two different places.
I didn't. I'm confessing to everybody. I did pray myself in here, but I didn't pray that cleansing prayer like we did last week.
It's been frantic. We both have been running around trying to get our thoughts and get all these stories together, all the clips to show you. We knew that tonight would be a lot. And, if some people had to tap out and leave, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a lot.
I get it. If you haven't smashed that like button, smash that like button now. Subscribe to our channel. And I know even though some of you have enabled notifications, you still ain't getting notified. Hover over that little bell on YouTube and make sure it says all. Because if you just click the bell, it goes to something called YouTube recommended. And can I help you? YouTube is not going to recommend us, okay? They're not just going to say,
not for
hey,
tonight's show anyway.
we need to tell the world about this channel. We need to tell the world about the stuff that they're covering. No. The algorithm is just like, how can we get rid of them? How can we get rid of them? That's what they're doing. And I'm going to get to the bottom of this whole thing about the ads. So many of you have had to reboot and restart just to watch this show tonight. You guys are amazing.
You really went all in with us tonight.
You really did. What a family we have, Sandy. This is a family.
Absolutely.
This is absolutely a family, and we love you guys. And you know, we really, really want you to get a copy of our book, subscribe to our channel. All of that can be found at LarryRagland.com. But I also want to just show you this right here, and we don't push this, but I do want you to know about something new that is an opportunity for you to help us with our television program. You can click on that Give tab at the top at LarryRagland.com or .tv, and you can click the Give Now button. And when you click that, you can give a one-time gift online. You can send a check. Several of you have done that. You see the address on the screen. I'll leave that up here. But just below that is also an opportunity to become a partner with our television ministry because it's not cheap. Now, I'm just going to be real with you and honest with you, and I hope that you stay with me and don't jump off now. Just stay with me just for a few more minutes. Don't jump off because I've got one more thing to tell you, but don't jump off yet, and just hear me out. I told our church Sunday, and I'm going to tell our Big Picture audience, I have made a commitment to God to go on Christian television for 1 year, and I hope it's for the rest of my life. But I'm going all in. Now, I've also said to God, I'm not going to burden my family with debt. I'm not going to borrow money. It's not going to harm us because we were not looking for Christian TV. We were not desiring Christian TV. It came for us. So he said, God, if you want us to reach people on Christian television, you're going to have to make it happen. And the people on this channel and the people in our church and people that we knew, you made it happen. Those first three programs first 3 months that we did, 13 shows, $23,300, you did it. And they're being aired right now. We're into week 3 right now on Christian television. Well, it's going to be in a few weeks. We got to start planning to do this again. So we're talking about 4 quarters of 3 months that I've told God, I'm believing that we're going all in on this. And I believe that it will sustain itself. If you would like to become a partner with us, a monthly partner, $10, $50, $100, or whatever amount, if it's not there available for that amount and you'd like to even do more than that, you let us know. There is no pressure on this channel to do any of this. Not even click that join button down below at $5 a month. There's no pressure. I'm telling you right now, no one is asking you to do this in order to be a part of the Big Picture family. If you never give a dime, you are just as important as the Big Picture family as anyone else because you made the sacrifice to be a part of this family and be here and support it and share it and like it and comment and be a part of the prayer warriors that are in here and the encouragers. But if you'd like to help us make that 1 year commitment, take the pressure off and say, you know what, we're going to reach millions of people. Because on that show, if you've watched our show, they're constantly being pushed back to this YouTube channel. I believe the Christian television show is going to build this Big Picture family as well. Sandy, your thoughts on that? I just wanted to share that opportunity and our commitment that we've made.
Right. There absolutely is no pressure. We just want to make this opportunity available if you would like to help. God did lay this opportunity before us for Christian television, and so we're trying to pursue it, and it will either happen or it won't happen. And we're okay either way, but we're going to give it a go and see if we can. And like you said, minimum 1 year if we're able to do it.
Yep.
And see where God goes after that. But we love you guys, whether you give or don't give. We enjoy being here with you each and every Monday night and for all of our other programs that you tune in.
And speaking of the program, if you'd like to see, if you haven't seen it yet, what it's about, go back and look at our previous videos, and you'll see this is the first episode. Sandy and I were on the first episode together. And now we also have the second episode here available on YouTube. Mm-hmm. You can get an idea of what the television program is like. It's 28 minutes and 30 seconds exactly on the dot. And that's what Christian Television is, a 30-minute program that's on once a month, and it's in front of millions of homes, potential homes, tens of thousands of viewers every week. And we're believing that souls will be saved once a week, and you can be a part of that. Yeah. So closing thoughts on this night. We have endured a lot tonight, Sandy. We have gone, the Big Picture family has
When you say we, you mean all of us.
The Big Picture family.
If you were watching the show tonight, you paid a price.
You paid a price.
To stay with us.
Yeah.
And not just for all the interruptions, but just trying to process all the stories that we brought.
Yeah.
So.
I am happy to see that at the end of our 2-hour program, we're still on the air, I think, because people are still commenting. So we're at least something got out tonight. Yes. And over at Rumble, hey, Rumble family, we love you because everybody's telling me you didn't have no issues. You're over there like, what are y'all talking about? I ain't seen no commercials. I ain't seen no live chat disappear. Y'all need to come over here and rumble with us. Are you ready to rumble?
Well, before we leave, guys, please keep the state of Florida in your prayers.
Yes, absolutely.
Please keep Maui, Hawaii in your prayers.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And so many other things, but these stick out. These are immediate needs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say one way or the other. We probably will not spend that much time on Maui in the future, but we are going to report on Maui. Yeah. We are going, and by the way, don't forget, if you're watching by YouTube, and I'll make sure in Rumble as well. I don't think I did it in Rumble, but I'll go back and do it in Rumble. Make sure you go down and support Hawaii Real Estate and what he is doing. Because if it wasn't for that guy, now there's other people doing stuff. That guy, if it wasn't for him, that one man who was a well-off real estate agent that just said, you know what? I'm putting my life on hold. I'm making sure that the world knows what's going on here in Maui. If it wasn't for him, we would not even know what's going on. Nobody in the world probably would even know what's going on. So make sure you like his channel, support his channel, comment on there that you saw us talking about him. I'm going to try to get a hold of him. I don't know. I've not seen him on anybody else's show. I'm going to try to get him on the Big Picture.
Nice.
Because I want to honor what he's doing. I think he's an American hero.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
Amen. Absolutely. Well, thank you all for being a part of the Big Picture tonight. Well, I tell you what, I wished I had me some of that wide awake coffee.
Oh, man.
Actually, I probably need to go to sleep.
Yeah, you actually don't need a wide awake
coffee. I think I need to go home and go to bed.
You need something to help you start ramping down.
Yeah, I need to ramp down and go to bed and get some rest. We love you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and invite everybody to join us.
Absolutely.
Because we're here live Monday night, we're live Wednesday night, we're live Thursday night, and anytime news breaks here on the Big Picture, we'll be live as well. And we want to remind you that no matter what's going on in the world, one thing you're going to always know if you come to the Big Picture, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. God bless you, the Big Picture family. We love you.